Hi, welcome back to the Tribe Talk Show. This episode is Talk with Tamara, and I have a wonderful woman here today by the name of Lauren Franklin, and she is part of a huge group of women that are growing every day with Moms Making Masks. I'm so excited to reach out to her and ask her what's been going on and how she got this started. So, good morning, Lauren. Welcome.
Good morning, Tamara. Thanks for having me. It's wonderful to be here. We obviously have a huge need for masks right now in our society, unfortunately. And this epidemic started a little bit about 9 weeks ago. And 8 weeks ago, there was a woman on Facebook who was looking for some elastic to make some masks for essential workers. And I had some experience putting together groups on Facebook. And she and I didn't know each other personally, but we did know each other through Facebook. We traveled in different circles, but that was terrific. And I approached her and said, I think more than you would want to make some masks. And what if we put a group together? And she said, okay. And I said, can I really do this? Because when I do something like this, I do it. And she said, yes. And I went through a couple of different names. We were Mamas Making Masks. We were Mask Making Mamas. We were couple of different things. But then I settled on Moms Making Masks, ... protecting the front lines, COVID-19. I kind of did a dun 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 for my son, protecting the front lines. So that's how it all came about. And the group we had found, through each other was a free buy and sell swapping group in our neighborhood, which was a wonderful way to meet each.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, the power of social media is amazing, right? And that's just the best communication that you could have sometimes, especially now that we're on quarantine and we don't even get out to have personal conversations belly to belly. I would love to know, how's it been received by the community and the first responders? How has the feedback been for the Moms Making Masks?
Goodness. Beyond. We've become the it group, which we never meant to be. We meant to just supply what was a need and fulfill a need. But what happened was these plastic and paper masks got wet for the first responders. So they became very uncomfortable and disgusting. So we started making these covers so that way they can also protect themselves at home with their families, because they're taking all of what they've done outside and bringing it into their houses. So more so than for what they're doing at work, they need one in their pocket for when they go into their homes. And we made them really comfortable and really cool. And we have different styles. And it's been so well received that I can't even get over it.
You know what's amazing, darling, is something's done from the heart. And it's really done just out of nothing else other than helping others. It is amazing what, comes to fruition, right? And comes and it's not. I
want to give you my favorite part about how this has grown, because I think that this is the most interesting part, one of the most interesting parts of our growth. And I use the word organic. We were very organic to begin with. And we were giving to a nurse that lived in the neighborhood that was bringing to the hospital. But from that person who donated, who we gave to, they decided to want to volunteer and get involved. And some of my favorite stories from the group are the people that started as recipients and then became head volunteers and even managing groups for us, which is just an amazing, that's how we grew.
Oh, that's phenomenal. And again, it's like one person lights the way and then it just keeps going and snowballing. And I think that's amazing. I'd love to ask you questions like, how long does it take to make a mask? What's involved and how many, people have to be involved in one mask? If you can give us some basics. So if there's other people interested in even starting or joining you.
Okay. Well, it's a very interesting process. So many people wanted to volunteer that we realized it was a need for people to volunteer, and people needed to help somehow or another. So we really disseminated the jobs into such little tiny positions. So somebody washed, somebody else ironed, somebody cut the material, somebody cut the elastic, somebody else sewed the mask together, somebody else curried it from point A to point B to point C. Somebody put the material baskets together so we could give our designers their material baskets all cut and ready to go. So when they were ready to start sewing, that's all they had to do. It was cut to size for them, and the elastic was in it. So to answer your question about how long it takes to make a mask, yeah, hard question to answer because there's been a humongous process and team effort involved in each mask.
Well, maybe I could rephrase it by saying how many masks have been made since, when did you start? When was your first mask, donated? And how many to date have you been donating already?
Okay, so we started March 22nd was the day I picked up Jen. And what was awesome is we were in different social circles. So her social circle spread, my social circle spread, and within a week's time, we had hundreds of followers and hundreds of volunteers. But to date, I would say, if I could say honestly, what we've donated to the front lines, it's over 6,000.
Fantastic.
But we don't only do masks. We've expanded our product line because we've had so many people interested in doing more things that couldn't necessarily sew masks. So we've definitely, I could show you a couple of different versions if you'd like.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you one thing before we get into that piece, just to make sure. First of all, I want to say from my heart, thank you. Thank you for being a mom who's like actually mothering people outside of your family, because that's really what this is. This is about us being mothers, and this is about us caring for other people. So I commend you from one mom to another. Thank you for helping the front.
But I'm going to actually add something to that. Can I add something to that?
Please.
That's awesome. And we are a lot of moms. We have a lot of grandmas sewing, and we have a lot of kids sewing. So there aren't just moms in our group, which is even more fantastic. But as moms,
you're giving me goosebumps, Lauren. You're giving me goosebumps.
7-year-old women sewing buttons on embroidered pieces.
Amazing. I don't want to run out of time. Lauren, that is amazing. I would love to see some samples that you have and other things that you're working on, if you don't mind sharing.
Okay, absolutely. We have a lot of different styles of masks, and not one size fits all. So our simplest mask to make would be this mask. There's no bias strip here, and it just simply goes over your ears, I'll show you, and over your nose and mouth, and covers you nicely. Firm on the sides and covers you up. Then we have a different kind of mask that has what we call bias strips. So the elastic is in there. Now there's also a pocket in here. So people can put a protection, a filter layer. People are using HVAC things. And this would also fit over an N95. So it's gonna be big on me. But if someone wore an N95 over it, it would work for them. Then we have other masks that have 2 different sides, so you know which one is the side going to your mouth. It's important that you're not using your outside on your inside, so that was a really clever idea that we were doing. A lot of our feedback that we've gotten from essential employees are their ears are cut and ripped from all the elastic. They're constantly wearing the elastic. So the first idea was buttons on headbands. This works nicely. The headband goes on their head, and you could put the elastic around the buttons so they don't have to go on their ears. Men are not going to want to wear something like this. Right. So we came up with yet another idea and another product, and we have extenders. These are embroidery extenders that are really comfortable, and you just put it on the back of your head and then hook your mask up to it. So it really doesn't have to go on your ears at all, which is fantastic. When we get orders for nurses, a lot of the nurses have to wear scrub caps. They're not allowed to have their hair loose, or doctors. We had scrub caps made. So our scrub cap can match our masks. I love it. And then you need a bag to put it all in because it needs to stay protected. So we made PPE bags. And the PPE bags have a tag so they can hold it to their body. And inside the PPE bag, they need to be able to put their medical goggles, their masks, their headbands, their scrub cap, and their headbands. And then they could put those PPE bag on their shoulder and go to work. So when we get bigger orders, we try to match the fire department or what have you. So take a look at these. So we had for the fire department and the police departments, we had people making, USA and NYPD. And in every batch, we send out a card, a personal handwritten card from one of our youngsters who writes a card, hello, we thank you for being a hero, watching you on the stand lines. We're watching you from the sidelines and thank you for your protection. And we had a rubber bracelet thing made. So these says our heroes, and it says moms making masks on the other side. And we put a 10-pack in with all of the bags that we send out, as well as a homemade card by a youngster. So this is a get well card for somebody who's in the hospital. And one of the nurses can choose who to give that to. And this is a card for the fire department to thank them for doing everything that they're doing. So, and one last thing, to show our appreciation to our volunteers, and we have about 150 people working on this project across Long Island, participating as a cutter, washer, sewer, designer, whatever. One of our people made bracelets, and we gave to all of our volunteers, and I wear mine, and we all wear our volunteer bracelets, and that's us.
That is fabulous. Yes, I do want to say though, how do people get in touch with you? How can they donate? How can they volunteer? What is the easiest way to connect with the Moms of Masks?
Okay, so if you go, yeah, thank you. We have a private Facebook group called Moms Making Masks, Protecting the Front Lines. And you could join our group or ask to join our group. And it would be great if they referenced this show so I know where they are coming from. And we're accepting donations of material. That's the best way to donate to us. So my address is up on the Facebook group, and people could send us material, elastic, buttons, headbands, anything that we could possibly use to help our organization stay alive. If anyone wants to work, we have a job for you. The pay isn't so well, but it's very rewarding, and it's a great team of people to work with.
Absolutely. Let me ask this. Where do you see this going? I feel like it's blowing up so well, and you're such an amazing organizer. Where do you see this for the future?
I laugh out loud when people call me a great organizer, because not many people that know me would call me organized. I'm an idea person, and I take things from the top and I chunk it down and figure out what I need to do and know how to find the right people to help me get to where I'm going. One of the things that I would like to do is, obviously this is unfortunately going to last for a very long time, and we need to make sure that everyone who is essential feels the connection to our care, and that we care about what they're doing, and we understand that the world is on hold except for them. So this Moms Making Masks is going to continue as long as masks need to be worn by essential employees and essential personnel. And in terms of the future, I'm not 100% sure. I have a different ability, and I wear a device on my leg, and I wouldn't mind parlaying this into possibly a nonprofit that helps people who need medical durable equipment that can't really afford it, buy it. I got help for my leg, and this was, I had a hard time asking people for help because people wouldn't necessarily think I need help, but I know I give back and I pay it forward all the time. So if I could do that and parlay this into making it easier for people to get help that need it, that's what I'd like to do.
Lauren, is there anyone else before we go that you would like to thank or include in on this talk?
Sure. Thanks for giving me that opportunity. Number one, I'd like to thank Jennifer Frank, my partner, who gave me the impetus to start this. Number two, I'd like to thank all of the volunteers for Moms Making Masks. We wouldn't be Moms Making Masks without them, and everyone's done a terrific job in pitching in.
I think that is just phenomenal. I will say this, my dear, if we could share this video so people really get to know what is going on behind the scenes and what it just takes for people to be charitable and giving, I feel that we could get more people and more volunteers to be helping, that this could become something that is bigger than you've ever expected. And I'm sure you've already, it's blown up before that, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time out and spending time with me and letting me know more about this, because just a simple conversation, my goodness, I went from just knowing that some mothers make mess to look at everything that you showed and what's going on, and I'm grateful for that. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to catching up with you if you would love to come back, because I'd love to see how it's progressing, and soon. And everybody, I want to thank you for listening in on The Tribe, and please feel free to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and share this. Share this with as many people as possible, because everybody gets to help. And I want to thank you again. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, thanks for having me.